just now turned the camera on. I went ahead and tilled a couple of rows there. Fixing to plant me a row of beets. And we're going to drop the fertilizer through here. And then I'll till it in a little bit. Let me make sure that I plugged the camera mic in this time. Make sure it's working. I think everything's all right. Should be anyway. But just like I said the other day, we're going to use a little fertilizer on this garden. I don't even think it's necessary. Only bad thing about in this mulch, using a little fertilizer, you can really change the pH. It don't take much of this fertilizer to up the pH in a garden on your plants. So something you want to be careful about. But we're going to give it a little fertilizer. Not a lot, but we're going to put a little fertilizer down here. I've not done this in many years. But I want healthy plants this year. I usually have pretty healthy plants. I'm sure that this is probably a waste of money. But I think that, because this is a garden, is got all kind of organic matter in it. It won't hurt, I don't think, especially by me tilling it in. It's probably a little bit more fertilizer than I'd really need. The reason I'm wanting to till that in, I want that under the ground. I want to get that in the ground. I think if you don't, the nitrogen, if you just let it lay there on top of the ground, I heard it could evaporate. Let's run this through it right quick. It won't take a second or two. I'm quite fond of this little tiller. I just hope it's tough. Honda engines, it's like I said, pretty tough. I'm gonna stop right there. If the reputation of Honda engine stands up, we'll be in pretty good shape, I think. Now it's just a no-brainer what I'm fixing to do now, ain't it? We're gonna level this out a little, just the way it is. little tiller, it'll sure bring them bigger chunks of wood up that's been buried there for a long time. These glasses bugs me. They bug me, man. Come on, man. You know the thing. Oh. It's awful to think of stuff like that. It surely is. I run that tiller down through there on the side, and the reason I've not got this till up right in here is because, and I can't remember where it's at. I was thinking it's right here with these logs. I've got some rhubarb, and I don't know where it's at. So I've let this grow up, but this year, what will I do? I don't know. I'll tell you what I'm thinking about doing. I like rhubarb. I tried it last year and actually enjoyed it. And I mean raw. Eat it raw. So I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. See right here, let me show you. If you can see right here, I'm gonna reach down and I'm gonna grab something if it ain't cut up. Yeah, it's cut. Right here, 3 pieces. But there's another one. It does a number on these critters right here that most of the time you'd miss these. And these is rhizomes from Johnson grass. And these right here, Johnson grass, rhizome. And those little boogers is a pain. So you can take that, and if you break that right there, you snap that like that, that'll grow, that'll grow, that'll grow, that'll grow. It'll all grow. So you can chop out all the pieces, and every time you break that, more than likely you've created another a plant. And I'll throw it out here in the middle of the yard because it ain't about to take root there, and if it does, I'll just mow it down, but I don't think it will. But that's one good thing I like about that little tiller. It'll chop it up. I'll tell you more about this little tiller this summer when I figure out that if it does what I was anticipating it doing. I'm happy with it so far, put it that way. They're quite expensive, but not really. If you consider your back, I'm going to open this greenhouse and let a little fresh air in there. If I can remember here in a minute, or after a while, before I quit, it won't take a minute or two to do this right here. this planting a row of beets, but I'll show you those plants that I planted here a few days ago. Some of them's already coming up, so I'll show you what's coming up. And of course the onions over here, I noticed them, they was coming up. One row of them. Of course they ain't but a day apart, so that should mean that the last ones I planted is coming up. I'll keep my mind on my business. If I don't, I'll be over looking for onions. I go down here and lay us off a little furrow. Now I'm going to plant these beets here a little deeper than normal. And the reason that is, I mean, there's plenty of moisture now and it's been raining. But I don't want to, well, I could, because I'm going to have to put a sprinkler there anyway, probably. Anyway, I'm going to plant them I may plant these about a 1/2 inch deep. That's the plan. About a 1/2 inch deep. And that way, when I go back through and tap them little boogers in, they'll be deep enough to where this ground will maintain moisture. And I won't have to be out here worried every day that they've germinated and about to dry out, because that's what'll get them. A lot of times I don't plant these. I might plant them a 1/4 inch deep. Only bad thing about doing that, you know, you miss a day of water, and if it was to dry out, then you've got you're going to lose your beets or whatever. And it's critical when them little critters is first sprouting, when they're first germinating. I'm trying to keep this about the same and try to keep it straight as I can. I've been known to plant stuff that looks like a rattlesnake through there. It takes a little bit more effort to try to keep stuff good and straight. It's simpler, and I think your garden looks tremendously better. Now there's one thing about it through here now, is where this has been tilled. There shouldn't be no restriction on no roots. I mean on no fruit, tubers. I want to get me a row of carrots too, or 1/2 a row anyway this year. I'll till that good and deep, and then mound it up a little bit. I hope I'm not, when I bend down, look down, my mouth's right on that microphone. That's why I sound like I'm breathing like I'm choking to death. Could lower the mic again. So I've run the tiller down over here by this row of garlic. I run it down and back, and then I went down under the string and then come back and fertilized it. And now I'm gonna put the beets to it. Put the beet seeds to it. Little beet seeds. And these little beet seeds, in these little, well, these are tiny little critters. I tell you, these are little. They be little, man. So that means they're gonna be thick, don't it? I'll just try to do as good as I can through here. You can always thin them out. So I'm gonna sow them fairly thick. They're not crazy. I was thinking these beet seeds here was about the size of some of that Swiss chard I've got. But they ain't a fourth as big. I'm glad I didn't go no deeper. I don't want a million of these things, but I love pickled beets. And the best way to have beets to pickle, somebody's got to grow them, don't they? And in this loose dirt, this soil, okay, I'm not going to call this dirt. I'm going to call it soil because it is. But this stuff is so loose, and it always is, but it's really loose now, that if you've got beets that come up and there's a few side by side, they'll not be restricted in area that they need to grow, because they can just simply push this dirt away. They can just simply move the dirt as they grow. You put stuff in old hard dirt and that's compacted, and when stuff tries to grow, it'll be twisted and warped and deformed looking, and that's how you get nice looking root crops, is have a loose structure for them to grow in. I'm not trying to tell anybody how to do this, what I do here, by no means. I'm just showing you how I do it. And that's enough beets to last a couple more years. I'll guarantee it. Unless I go beet crazy. I'm gonna go down here right now. I know it ain't been 30 minutes, but time gets away from you. I'm gonna restart that camera. I need to figure out how to make that run continuously. Stephanie's strawberry is blooming. Now last night here, it got to 34 degrees, 34. But I don't see any more freezing. Now that can change. Let me know. I'm very aware of that. It can change. But as of right now, I don't see any freezing. And I'm talking about of a night. Naturally, it wouldn't be of a day. I don't see any freezing temperature for the next 14 or 15 days. This is when you can get in trouble, but sometimes you just have to gamble on this stuff, don't you? I'd love to plant my corn right now. And I know that's a little early, but you know, sometimes you can get by. Sometimes you can get by. If the weather is showing decent weather for 15 days, and I know it can change. If it was to stay nice like it is for 15 days and not get bad later, you know, 15 days will put you on up toward the middle of the month. But now I'll tell you right now, I've had cucumbers killed growing right here, right in this area. The 1st of May, frost, freak thing. Just one night, just enough to kill the cucumbers. The way it goes. Now I've been watching these walnut trees, these English walnuts. Got one here and one there. And as a rule of thumb, hopefully it won't happen this year, but most of the time, when they bloom, when they put their blooming, put their little walnuts on it and the pollen, it usually comes to freeze and kills the fruit. Hopefully it won't this year. Hopefully it won't this year. But lightly cover them. Lightly cover them, very lightly on these. See, these are a lot smaller than I thought they were. It's all right, they'll be all right. They'll either come up or they won't. You plant stuff too deep a lot of times, and I can tell you right now, it just don't make it. It won't make it out of the ground. Some of them will, but a lot of times if you plant stuff and you think all them seeds weren't viable. It's got a lot to do with how deep you planted that stuff. Most stuff don't need to be planted very deep, especially little bitty seeds. I should have looked at them before. But anyway, they're not that deep. I mean, the trench is not that deep. I hear a horse over there, no more breathing. There he is. Now, that's got our single row of beets. And I assume that most people know that the tops of them beets can be ate. I mean, you can eat them. You can eat them. Just like any other grain. So if you tamp that a little bit, it kind of sets it around the, I've got an ant nest right there. I see them crawling. I've tore it up twice. Diatomaceous earth will move them out next time. All right. That's got that done. Now, I usually just leave the string there till I get done. I mean, till I get ready for the next item. Got some peas around the trellis, and I'll have some beans around the trellis. Garlic, oh Lord God, plenty of garlic. I've got to get in there and work it. I've been doing that for months. But you can come, I'll show you. You can come right here, like this creeping Charlie. You just be careful and pull it away from your garlic. You can just reach and grab that, and it lifts right out there. But just try not to pull your garlic up. Look real good before you get a handful of this. And just shake it and toss it right out there. That's how easy it is. It don't take long, especially after a rain, and this stuff's good and loose. So you can just shake them off. And I know if they went to seed, you're reseeding them, but you gotta get them out of there. Try to get them all, the little bitty ones, because they'll just come right back. When it gets so hot, these die out anyway. But that's all you have to do. And you've You got your garlic took care of. I don't like it growing around stuff, because I know what it does. It pulls the nutrients. It'll pull all the nutrients from your plants. Maybe not all of it, but it'll pull quite a bit. I'm gonna work this side next, and then I'm going to fertilize this one row of garlic, just one, to see how it does, if there's a big difference in it. And it needs to be done pretty quick, because that stuff's growing right now. It's really growing. The bulbs are right now. They're doing their thing. Have been for a while. Of course, these got burnt down twice. Not plumb to the ground, but one time they almost did. You could barely see that they were there. Okay. I mean, I don't know. That's all I'm going to plant today, so. That's got our beets. We got beets, one row of beets here, 3 rows of garlic. Got, might as well call it a row of Egyptian walking onions. Got 1 row of white onions, 1 row of yellow or red. They're not purple, but they're yellow. I call them red onions. Got about 10 foot of lettuce over here, and it's coming up too. Now there's one right here. 1 row, yeah. And then the other row's right there. Now, wait a minute. There are different types of onions. That might have something to do with it. These is coming on. There's one 2 inches tall. You know, I don't see a onion in this row that's not one, not even a sign of one. So these are the white ones. The red ones is over there. These is the white ones. So we'll see how long it takes. Now right here, where I dug that little trench, and I'll dig her out again there, where it's rain filled in, is from there to here is my lettuce that I sowed. And yeah, I see some little bitty leaves, little lettuce seeds. So, see, I'll have to watch this, because this is something that that can dry out on you. Yeah, now there's some what did I plant through here? Turnips. Yeah, turnips. There's little turnips. Seed coming. Yeah. I think it's, I know it is. There's turnips. Yeah. I always come out here and check. You can rake back that ground just a little. Them things just a little. If they don't get that root down there where it's moist, they can die out on you. Yeah, they're coming up good. They're right in here where it's, yeah, doing good through here. Doing good. Yeah, boy, it's thicker through here now down there. Lord have mercy. I must pour a handful out there. Here. Yeah, they're up. They're doing good. They are doing good. Check the asparagus while I'm out here. Now, here's one. Yeah, plumb up here. Right here's purple passion. Plumb up here. I hope I didn't till half up out of the ground. There's one there. One there. I don't know how many rows I planted through here. I'll tell you, I can't remember. Maybe 2 or 3 rows. If it is, I'm walking right on one. I don't see nothing coming up. I'll stay back a little. Yeah, there's purple passion in the other row, which was there yesterday. There's some. And it's just now starting. This, I pulled 2 up. There's a good one coming up. There's another. This is, I believe it's called Mary Washington. Right there's one. So, it's starting. We'll have some asparagus to eat before long. I don't think I'll eat any of this. That last I planted. So we've got plenty of turnips. This upper end, more than down there for some reason. Potatoes, 1 row, 2 rows of potatoes. 1 row here, 1 row here. I planted them for enough parts where I could run that little tiller a time or 2 through here. We've got our peas, sugar snap peas over here. I'm a pushing it, I know I am. But these turnips, let me walk back right here. They're starting to thicken up right in here, right here. From here back, they're up more than they are down this way. What does that tell you? I don't know. This ground, it's moist. I need to get a sprinkler on it tonight. You never know too, I may have went through here and put them thinner. It don't matter. They're what they are. See, that's why I ordered that little tiller, for that's right there. You're still gonna have to hoe a little. I mean, you can't get out of there. But in between stuff. And like in them beds, turnip beds, you just have to go through there and hand weed that stuff. You just have to stay after it. But this, like I say, this creeping Charlie, it'll choke stuff out. But the thing of it is, in hot weather, it'll die. It'll kill it out in hot weather. About the time it gets ready to die, the other critters seem to try to sneak in on you. While I'm here, let's go ahead, let's give them a drink. If you got a water hose like I've got here laying out, turn that baby on so that starts running a little cool. Because if you don't, you'll burn your little plants up. You can burn them up. I'll show you how this barely turn that on. Just barely turn that on. And just give him a little shower. I didn't even water these yesterday. They didn't need it. But they're going to get a drink today. Going to get a drink today. My pepper, I just brung it back in. Had it in the house last night. Now I've got some sweet potatoes over there. Let me water them a little. I'll give them a little drink. Lightly, moist. Just moisten the ground on these. You don't want to water them. Moisten the ground. And that's it. Just that easy. Now, let's see what I've got here. The tomatoes naturally ain't up yet. They're not up yet. I don't expect them to be. Got cabbage. That's late flat Dutch. Hits up and got some cabbage, savory cabbage here, and it's starting to, I see 1, 2, 4, 4, 5 coming up, just starting. Swiss chard, bright lights, that's a different kind of Swiss chard. It's, what's that? It's starting to come up. Collard greens, they're coming on. Yeah, they're coming up. And that's it. So collard greens, Swiss chard, and cabbage. Peppers, they ain't up. Neither jalapeno or bell. It ain't time for them to come up. Spin my pepper. Put it right there. That pepper plant there's not done nothing. Let me get here and look. I don't see any nodes. It may be dead, I don't know. It may be dead too, I don't know. But it's green. That don't mean nothing. I'll leave it there. It'll either do something or not do something. It's got life in it, I think. Got life in it. This one stayed leaves on it all year. All winter, all year too. But it stayed leafed out, and then it dropped every leaf on it. And I thought, uh-oh, I come out here and repotted it, putting more good dirt around it. And it's putting the leaves back on it. I know it gets kind of sick of watching just planting stuff. You see no results when you plant stuff. Except a string and 2 posts, and watch somebody hoe something. Just like over through there, that's all planted, but now it'll change. It'll get more interesting when that stuff starts growing. See if I can't get over here and show you Stephanie's strawberries are blooming. I think I can if I don't get too close. I'll pop that, yeah, right there. Let's see. Let me see. I'll check, let's see if I can't darken her back up a little here. It gets too bright out in this full sun. Let's see if we can locate some, show you here. I guess right here's a little white bloom. Right here's one. There's 2 in this one. Over here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, they're growing. And now let's move you over here while I'm at it. Might as well. And show you her other one. Get a kind of a side angle on this one maybe. I've got there we go. Should be able to see them if I don't get in the way. I know you can see better than this bright light than I can. But see these blooms in there? They're blooming. And she just transplanted these not long ago in my garden. I planted them last year. Ours, that's eat up with bloom. Oh, that's set full of bloom. Bloom here. Blooms. All that's in this thing is wood chips. And then, of course, last year I put some, what do you call it? Soil, planting soil. Miracle Grow soil, just a little skim on top. This was full. And you can see where it went down. It's got wood chips all the way down. Old wood chips, by the way. Dogwoods right there, starting to put out. I can reach that, pull it down a little. Might be able to see it better. They're still got a green cast to them. They're not white. Now they've been through several nights of freezing temperatures too. But they'll come on, they'll get good and white. Red buds. See the red buds over there. The old red buds. Right there. Bright, 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 bright. But these is the red buds. Again, you can see. And them little blossoms, you can eat them. They're good. Mm-hmm. You want to make sure you watch for ants. Red buds. You can eat them. And they're not bad. Pretty good snack. Pretty good snack. Okay, that'll be it for today. I'll talk at you next time.